Welcome to Tarot and Tea with Stephanie. I'm Stephanie, and this is your weekly energy wave and intuitive tarot forecast. In this sacred space, we ride the crest of cosmic tides to gain the guidance and wisdom of this week's currents. Creators, I am so happy to have you here in the very first Tarot and Tea. This has been a complete redesign of the types of content that I'm offering, and I am so excited for this new series. Many of you have been used to me doing readings for the 12 signs, and I will still be doing that on some of my live broadcasts, so don't despair. I will still read your sign from time to time, and I have something special planned for each sign as well. But Tarot and Tea is going to allow me the opportunity to give you the best that I have to offer. This is a collective message that we'll be going into today. However, I do offer personal readings, and I will speak about that at the end. This video will be full of timestamps for you for your convenience, and so you can revisit the places and the messages that you resonated with the most. Today's tea is Hawthorn Tea, and I think you're going to find it very interesting with some of the astrological aspects and other energies that I am forecasting for this week. Now remember, even though I'm peering into the energies and seeing the potentials, things can change at any time. So remain in the present moment and always trust your intuition to guide you. So grab your favorite tea, get cozy, and let's sink into these energetic vibrations that are headed our way. Welcome, creators, to Creators on the Crest, where we rise with the tide and align with the truth. I'm Stephanie, and we are going to jump first into a message that I had an intuitive download about leading up to recording this particular segment. So I talked about in the intro briefly that the tea of today is Hawthorn Tea. Now, when I go into these messages and the tarot reading, this particular segment is timeless. So no matter when you have found this channeled message and this particular tarot spread, you have found it at the exact right time for you. After the channeled message, we'll get into a really cool spread that I love to do. It's called the Ankh Tarot Spread. And much like the Celtic Cross spread, it helps us peer into energies from different perspectives and put it all together so that we can make the best decisions for ourselves in the week or coming weeks ahead. I'll close it off with an oracle message and also give you a journal prompt, an affirmation, or a mantra of some kind that you can carry with you and actually take action on. So Hawthorn was really calling to me after it came up in one of my live readings. It came up in a reading for one of my consistent viewers, and you know who you are. I appreciate you so much. Hawthorn is known traditionally to assist with cardiovascular health, and during this time that I'm actually recording, there's a lot to do with the energies of relationships, which means at the time you found this, that may be something that's up for you. And so in this particular deck, this is the Herb Crafter's Tarot. It is represented as the Lover's card, which is a major arcana energy having a lot to do with relationships. And there's also a connection here to shared desires between two people, whether that be romantic or platonic. This may be up for you right now, looking at what you desire in your partnerships and in your relationships, and then finding the middle ground, finding the middle point, much like these two wreaths of hawthorn, one with the blooms, the flowers from the spring, and one with the berries, which are the harvest in the fall, come together in this Vesica Pisces pattern. And at the time of recording, there's also some Piscean energy that I'm going to get into. So this is all very interesting and coming together so auspiciously. You might also take a look at the seasons of spring and fall for yourself and see how you connect those two differing energies. One is full of blossoms and life and blooming, and one is moving the other direction, more of a waning energy going into the death and coldness of winter. So working with these energies inside yourself is also very important. I would like to read a little from this lovely guidebook for the Herb Crafters Tarot. There's tarot readers that maybe judge, oh, you shouldn't read out of the book, but sometimes what the author has said so eloquently in the book is definitely worth speaking about. And since I'm still learning about plant medicine and herbs, so I figure in this case, this will help you understand further what I've intuited already and why I've selected Hawthorn for this reading and this reflection. One of the themes is dancing with the beloved. Now, this can be you with your greater being, you with yourself, you with your connection to the divine, to source, to creator source, to great spirit. Whatever that is for you and however that reflects for you, the dance is active, it is happening, and there is connection here. Love blossoms, love wounds, and love heals. You'll see in the very middle point of the two wreaths, we will see the thorns, hence Hawthorn. Some of us may be up against wounding that has us shielding or protecting ourselves, or even has us in a place of fear that is coming full circle, and we're understanding that we need to release this before the blooms of spring next year. But also that place in the center, if we look at it from the perspective of two desires overlapping or two people having overlapping desires, it might be kind of a rough road getting there, but there's something beautiful that happens in the midst of these connected energies, and this is where love is, and love dwells there, and our desires come to life in that energy. And so from the book, it says, give life to the fruits of divine union. Hawthorn opens the heart and ignites passions. Berries emerge from pollinated flowers, a partnership that feeds both birds and bees and trees. Relationships based on shared desires lead to sweet rewards. Take only what is yours, only what fills you with joy. If you pick too many flowers in the spring, the tree will yield little fruit in the fall. When making a choice, trust your heart. Though the thorns can be menacing, they can also be protective. So I was just so drawn to the Hawthorn as a guide for us today, and so I really deeply wanted to share that message with you that came through. Now we're going to get into our Ankh Tarot Spread. I am really looking forward to this very much. I have selected this fun deck, the 5-cent tarot. On the side it says Madame Clara sees all. I really like this version of these cards. They come in different colors. Mine is like almost like a lilac color with gold embellished on there, and these cards really are cool because they show you both the light and the shadow energies. So we'll be using these, and then we'll get some clarifiers from the Radiant Rider-Waite Smith Tarot. I love this too. They're nice and small and easy to shuffle, and they make for great clarifiers with closeness to the original Rider-Waite Smith. So let's get into this. Remember, we're keeping in mind that these are general readings, and so they may or may not resonate with everyone all of the time. If they don't, just take what resonates and leave the rest. Or check out some of my other content, because there may be another reading that is more meant for you. Always, always trust your intuition above all else. And just a final reminder again that this is a timeless message. So if you've stumbled on this and it's not the exact timing of when I recorded it, that's okay. You're still going to gain something from your message here, especially if you were drawn to this. Okay, so let's jump in and see what messages are coming through for us. Okay, we have, ladies and gentlemen, up first, the Chariot. Now, this represents our situation right now. This is about determination. It's about your will force. It's about your willpower, if you will. It can also represent control. Now, what's really interesting about this particular depiction is we have kind of this very old-fashioned looking carriage with a buck actually as the charioteer. So this is very interesting. Some of you may be connecting with deer energy and the strength of the knowledge of the forest, of nature. That's very much coming up right now. Some of you are working on your relationship to nature in what I feel is a deepening of that and getting closer, spending more consistent and measured time in nature, maybe with purpose, meaning with intention. You want some sort of outcome. You want to feel better in your body because of your relationship to nature. And others of you are exploring this aspect of control and maintenance on your path. The shadow aspects of this can lead us into an area where we might feel a bit indecisive. So if some of you have been kind of on the fence about something, there are some energies coming up now for you. And I was just getting all this bubbling rising up and needing to burp. And that's like my sign that you are working through these energies and some sort of decision is arising from the indecision you've been facing. So if it's been feeling a little chaotic, or maybe time is just feeling like it's going by so fast for you that you feel like you've missed something, rest assured, something is going to become clear to you there. Now, of course, we have energies that challenge this energy of the Chariot, and it is the Ten of Cups, okay? The Ten of Cups. This is emotional completion, emotional energy, emotional maturity, emotional fulfillment. And remember, with the original channeled message around Hawthorn and the heart space, both energetically and physically, the Ten of Cups comes in and says, yes, this is a challenge. Why? Because the heart may be a bit wounded. There may be, for some of you, a bit of disharmony in a partnership or friendship. Or maybe you're just trying to figure out, like, what is going on there? Why has my relationship with so-and-so shifted or changed? There's something different now about it. Maybe it's perhaps that you're seeing it from a different perspective with greater emotional clarity. The Ten of Cups also speaks to harmony, bliss in the home space, like feeling good about your home space. So for some of you, harmony in the home space, and we're talking about how you feel in your home, the way things are arranged, clearing out the clutter, noisy neighbors. We're talking about all that. The Ten of Cups comes up in the challenge position. So some of you have had a really hard time reaching that harmony and figuring out how you're going to move forward because you're feeling so distraught by these more interruptive, disharmonious energies there. So that's something we're going to look deeper into when we clarify, but it's certainly coming up for us today. Looking into the roots of the situation, we got the Three of Cups. I can't help but think for some of you, this has impacted your social life or your ability to be social with others. There may be an essence of community and involvement that you feel has retracted, especially in our world since the 2020 events. You may feel like, will we ever get back to communing socially and being involved in community without that fear? The shadow side of the Three of Cups, before I show you this, it's fear, it's illusion, it's gossip. It's the kind of energies that when you do go out and about, you feel like you have to perform a certain way and it, doesn't feel good. Some of you have been on that path before where you've gone out, you've tried something new, the energies are just too overwhelming or they didn't match up, and sometimes there's a comfort in not doing those things. But at the same time here, we have a challenge about the harmony of the home space and feeling good about that. So some of you could be feeling like, gosh, I just don't feel comfortable anywhere I go. However, the Three of Cups in the lighter, well-dignified aspects and aligned aspects is so much about friendship and community and having fun and celebrating together. So this message to me kind of speaks to like the deeper undercurrents, the roots of the situation, where there may be a little discord going on here that's causing you to feel that way. Some of you may be healing up some things that have happened in the past. I would like to say, please give something new a try, especially if what has been going on for you hasn't been working, especially in community type situations where you're getting together with friends and with groups. Some of you are maybe shifting this energy to a healthier platform, like you'd like to be together with people while you're focused on something like walking, hiking, biking, and health. That could also be coming in here. Maybe some of the meetups that you've done in the past just aren't in the environments where you feel comfortable anymore. They may be at bars and drinking and bellying up and loud and distracting. And you may be looking for something richer and deeper here with this coming in at the roots of this reading. We also, as we go even a layer deeper than that and we look into the subconscious, unconscious patterns, we get the World card here. And this represents a completion, okay? This represents actual harmony coming through for you. A lot of you are releasing something subconsciously that has to do with how you feel about relationships, your relationship to yourself, your home, your friendships, and even your romantic and intimate partnerships as well. So something is coming to an end. It doesn't necessarily mean a relationship is coming to an end, although some of you may want to back away and create distance from what is no longer harmonious for you. It could just mean a pattern has come to an end, or the desires of two have shifted in such a way that the relationship itself and the environments in which it will exist in are changing. So there's deeper energies going on here coming up from the subconscious, unconscious, and it's a bigger cycle that's being ended here. If you're feeling empty and a bit forlorn or maybe even grief-ridden with these energies, that is a natural phase of passing through the energies of the World card so that you may start fresh again. It's also a major arcana card, so these are larger energies. I feel like saying to some of you, you need to cut yourself a little bit of a break here, because I feel like there might be a heaviness or a hardness that you're holding onto, and certainly grief and guilt and things like that can cause that. There may be something in there that you're being asked to let go of because you're meant to move on in this new direction, and therefore your relationships are going to change too. Some of you just might be having a hard time or feeling guilty, maybe even about letting someone go if that's what's needed. Our seventh card in this Ankh spread, and it's kind of, got this shape and this pattern to it. It represents your dreams and desires. And we got the Ace of Pentacles. In this deck, it's called the Ace of Buttons, which is really interesting and cute and fun and whimsical. This may speak to some of you having to do with textiles or clothing or sewing, or someone in your life was a seamstress or is a seamstress. They may be, I almost feel like that kind of energy, an aunt, a grandmother, someone who is very good with needlework is coming through here. So that's a message for some of you there. But the Ace of Pentacles also represents new fertility. And while the shadow aspects can represent scarcity, and there may be a little bit of fear about, if I leave this partnership, this friendship, this community group, and shift to something else, it's not going to be the same. It won't be as fulfilling. What I'm looking for, I'm getting for some of you that you're thinking or feeling what you're looking for isn't out there because you haven't found it yet. And all of those energies kind of feed into the fear, and they will paralyze you. They will stop you from getting out and trying something new. But the Ace of Pentacles is much to do about, listen, there's opportunity here. You can expand yourself into these energies. It's time. It's time, especially with that World card being in the subconscious, deep in the subconscious there. We have to allow the cycles to end and the patterns to end so we can have the new beginning. Some of you may be feeling a bit stretched by this, like you may feel like, oh, I've got one foot in all of the beautiful things you're talking about, Stephanie, but I also have like some survivor guilt of leaving someone behind, or this has been such a big part of my life and now it's gone. Some of you are really seeing that differentiation there, and your job is to somehow find that middle point, much like I spoke about in the channeled message from Hawthorn here. So some of you may be getting a little stuck in these other seasons, and you're meant to come to that central point, and through that central point you find the love and you find the reasons why these things are happening in your life and these relationships are changing. This is really, really cool because in the position at the top of the Ankh, where we get assistance, this is divine guidance and assistance and the wisdom coming through. We got the Strength card. It's number 8 in this deck, as well as many of the traditional decks. 8 is a number of abundance. This is about mastery, self-mastery, first and foremost. So really understanding where you're at with things. And I find it very interesting. We have a seal here, and then we have a snake in the infinity symbol here. And the seal is balancing a ball on its nose there. And so that's kind of speaking to, my nose is really itching, speaking to the Libra energies. And as you're moving through this gate, what you're being reminded by your guides and your spirit team is that you are in control here. Yes. Oh my gosh, there's so much itching in my nose. Yes, there is a lot of divine energy coming in and downloads flowing and everything. But when it comes to how you move through this cycle, you have the free will to do that. And there's an acknowledgement that they see you doing this balancing act. In fact, the seal is standing on an armadillo. So I'm just talking about some of the creatures that are standing out to me in these pictures. But also this is teaching you something far greater. And it's strengthening your very own soul, your very own spirit here is being strengthened and is being brought into balance. This is also connected to the energy of Leo. So some of you may have that connection as well, or have the Leo or Libra energies, the L's, in your chart that you can look into and form a deeper connection with. Our best course of action here is the Two of Cups. Now, wow, this is about partnership. It's about not giving up on partnership. It's about not giving up on that balance that you're seeking. It's about being able to let go because you know something new is going to unfold and that you will attract that in. It's about connection. It's about unity. A lot of cups energy standing out in this reading. We have the 10, the 3, the 2 here. And I just feel like this is an emotional time for many of you. This can also represent the ways in which we don't feel that balance, or we don't feel that equal give and take that we're looking for. So if the best course of action is actually finding that connection and finding that balance and finding those partnerships and friendships and relationships where we can bring together our shared desires and expand from there, if that's a priority, then we're going to know if we're not moving that direction, because we're going to feel out of balance. We're going to be distrustful and fearful of how to move forward. So, wow, let's get some clarifiers. I'm just getting a little sip of the Hawthorn tea here. It definitely has a unique taste. I did put a little honey in it to sweeten it a bit. I think that helps. For me, it does. Yes, I don't even know how to describe the taste. It's got a little bit of an edge to it, but in a good way. All right, let's get these clarifiers. Let's look at this Chariot that we have in our current situation. So interesting, issues of control I am seeing coming up here with the Chariot, and also in relationships and partnerships. So that could be for some of you, but I'd like to know what else we need to know about this Chariot. Chariot is connected to the energy of Cancer, which is deep emotional energy, and we just got some more cups here, folks. The Chariot is clarified by the King of Cups and the Nine of Cups. Wow. All right. So this kind of feels like to me, whether you like it or not, you are stumbling on this reading. You are coming across this reading. You are listening to this because relationship energies are up for you. I do feel an underlying exhaustion behind it all for some of you. I think some of you have the tendency to want to pull back, and some of you rightfully so. Certainly if you're in a very unhealthy or toxic dynamic, you do need to pull back and take some time so you can get a lot of clarity here. With the King and the Nine of Cups showing up here, we want love, yes, but we want to have the proper boundaries around that too. So it's a reflection on, are the boundaries being communicated? Are the desires that me and this other person share, are they aligned, or are they misaligned? The King of Cups would have us come more powerfully into our emotional awareness with all this. So instead of looking at situations and maybe thinking about it mentally and analyzing it, this is more of feeling into your heart space and really finding out, like, how does this feel to me? All right. And you may not at first even be able to put words to it, and that's okay. The King kind of emotional mastery takes time. It takes time, and it's an evolution. And I do feel like when it comes to your movements forward in relationships, it's important to have boundaries with the Nine of Cups. There are certain elements of your own emotional state and maybe even the regulation of your nervous system that you feel quite protective of. And so you're really taking the time to make sure you have the right boundaries around this. It's definitely matters of the heart here and matters of relationships. Why don't we clarify the Ten of Cups that comes in as the challenge? This is the... I was literally shuffling the cards with like the little book in there. This is, I have to giggle at that. That's kind of funny that I didn't notice it before. Though this Ten of Cups is all about that harmony. Now, since it's in the challenge position, some of us aren't feeling the harmony we desire in the home space especially. So let's ask, what else is going on in or around the home space that we need to be aware of and our relationship to it here? Oh, okay. Some of you, this is showing up in the challenge position because you're just totally done with something. Like I said, this could be the toxic neighbors, the toxic noisy neighbors. This is, the theme is relationships here and how we feel about them. This could be that Ten of Swords there just says, ooh, I'm done. Others of you, it's just you have a decision to make, maybe about to stay where you're at or to move somewhere else or to do something very different with your home and the energies in your home. And there's, with the Two of Pentacles, kind of an indecisiveness there. Indecision is coming in as a little bit of an irksome energy for this reading. So if you've been particularly indecisive about something and you feel like it's like kind of hurtful to me to continue in that energy, I feel like I need to just make a decision and stick with it. I would follow your intuition on that because it's not going to guide you incorrectly. Others of you, I just feel like it's a closing down or a shutting down of your focus on something. Maybe you're sweating the small stuff. Some of you might be sweating the small stuff, especially if you live in a household with other people. What is the small stuff? What is the big stuff? And how can you distinguish between that and maybe let some of the small stuff go and really focus on the big stuff? With the Ten of Swords as well, swords being an air connection, it could be about communication. Maybe you think you've communicated or you're done communicating. You've communicated your little heart out and you're just like, I'm over communicating with that. If it hasn't changed by now, it's not going to change, and that is informing your decision. Let's look at the roots of the situation that we got with the Three of Cups here and get some clarifiers. Ooh, very interesting. The Strength card is showing up here. It shows up in the assistance and in the roots of the issue here, what's underlying it all, along with the Queen of Wands. Wow. Three of Cups, Queen of Wands, and the Strength card. This is where I look at this and I say, ladies and gentlemen, that Three of Cups is beautiful energy, but transformation is upon you in this area, okay? And it has to do with community and socialization and finding your place here. You are going to have to pull out your strength to actually get yourself up and out of the house and into an environment where you can be around other people. You can do this very simply. In the next week or so, you can just make an effort to do 30 minutes at the park. You can see if you can find a meetup group or club or something. Go on a walk with some other people, all right? This may have to be one of the takeaway action items here, because there's far too many reasons, and even maybe, if I'm really honest with you, some excuses you might be making about that, okay? But you've got enough strength here with the Queen of Wands and the Strength card to pull this off. You may be feeling like you're not strong enough, or you just don't want to deal with people like that, but you are, and the energies are showing up here. Others of you, you're going to be finally coming to terms with the fact that you have to make that decision, and the strength and the determination here is showing up, and you're ready to be with the fires of transformation with that Queen of Wands there. You're ready to go ahead and tackle that decision and let it be known and begin to move through it. These roots here, which are also connected to the support and assistance that you're getting through the strength energies, right? Your spirit team, your greater being itself supporting you, the other aspects of yourself supporting you in whatever this is. Some of you have made this decision, and for some of you, that's going to mean a break, and that's going to mean getting away from someone or something. And it could also be the relationship between your subconscious and conscious mind here. Something is fired up, is clearing out, so that you do have the connection and that beautiful shared desire between your conscious and subconscious mind. So for some of you, this is a healing, a cleansing that has taken place. Now going deeper and deeper into that subconscious, remember we had the World card. So this is where the energy goes from being like, okay, situational in my life, I'm dealing with this, to, oh wow, this is a theme, this is bigger, it's a bigger pattern, and I'm going to have to do something about it. And so there's this energy of scarcity showing up here again. I think we kind of had that come up in your dreams and desires as well. It's in the subconscious roots. Some of you may be working out some of this in the dream time, but we got the Four of Pentacles for the World card first. That Four of Pentacles has us holding on too tightly about our ideas around relationship, exchange, money, finances, resources, okay? How we exchange money, time, and energy. And the Four of Pentacles, it may have us holding on to something that's more stable in our mind, but less stable to our hearts, less stable to our souls, because it's not filling us, okay? So it might have that everyday, it's kind of like that 9-to-5 work mentality, in and out, clock in, clock out. And it might offer some level of stability, but it doesn't feel like it's really fulfilling you. And so there is in your subconscious some defensiveness built up around this with the Seven of Wands. And at the same time, there's the deeper part of you that knows that this is the way it must be, because you've risen beyond all the noise. And you can't ignore the fact now that you have the higher ground with this. You do have the awareness. And it's just the ego and the subconscious fears kind of getting in the way there, and causing a little bit of like, don't do this, protect yourself, because if you step into this, and this is where the mind comes in, if you step into this, there won't be enough, there's not enough. The people I'm trying to connect to aren't out there. Why is nobody paying attention to me? Why is everyone else getting the attention? And you start rolling into that nihilistic kind of energy, right? And for some of you, this is a calling and a message and a bit of a caution to say, pull yourself from that. How are your dreams informing you? It's very interesting, because I was really thinking before the reading, I want to tell people to pay attention to their dreams, to set intentions for what they can learn from their dreams, and then to also analyze them, and then maybe even journal or have some recognition about them, but from the place of the emotions here, okay? Which is really interesting. Not from the perspective necessarily of analyzing every little bit of symbolism. And even some of you may have been like, ooh, these cards look so involved, and maybe you're thinking I'm not holding them up long enough, but I really want you to feel these energies with your heart, because we are dealing with the depth of relationships here. It's also very interesting because if you do feel indecisive, or you are feeling that scarcity, you do get a bit of that feeling in there, you can set your intentions in your dream time to heal that. You're going to be asleep anyway, so you might as well make the most of that time. Your brain is still very active, just in a different way. And your intention could be to have the gap between the subconscious and the conscious mind be filled with alignment in your desires, and let your dreams inform you of that. All right, let's clarify dreams and desires here that we got with this Ace of Pentacles. So we're looking for something new to be established in the practical physical world. We really are here with the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Buttons. To clarify that, we got the Three of Wands and the Hierophant. Here we are, we're ready with that Ace. It's a dream of ours, but the Three of Wands as transformation is still acknowledged with the Wands energy and the fire. There is a bit of an observational period still going on here. Some of you do need to spend time really bridging the subconscious with the conscious here. And it's in order to do that, but to do it in a way that you're connected in with your heart core essence is challenging. And so I like that we have the Hierophant coming up here, because I feel like this is the way, along with the strength cards that have come in, where we can really pull on the energy of embracing change, of embracing the shift between the end of this cycle and the beginning of a new one, the end of a pattern, the end of a relationship. There is more on the other side of this, whether it results in an actual physical ending and a new beginning for you, or with a person. Like say someone's in your life, then they're not, then it changes, or it's just you and your partner changing something and really getting clear on your shared desires and how you're going to move that forward. The Hierophant comes in and says, yes, you've got to embrace these changes. And, you know, yes, you might need a bit of a time, a bit of a focus period where you can observe and make some good observations. But again, can you observe from your heart while you're dealing with this conscious and subconscious energy? So that little monkey mind that we get, it has to take a back seat for right now. There's more energy bubbling up. I know some of you are feeling it very strongly. Okay, let's clarify that strength card, which is in our place of support and assistance. And I think it's like a resolution on our own inner strength and also the strength that surrounds us. Ooh, this is really cool too. And it just kind of went even a little deeper for us here, in the sense of we got the Five of Swords and the Tower. There's conflict here. There's change here. There's breakdown here. And we have to be strong through that. So yes, some of you are very realistically dealing with situations and partnerships that are going to shift, that are going to end in major ways. Okay, and there's really no getting around that. these energies coming in our supportive place, in the place of assistance for us, at the top of the Ankh here, of this Ankh spread, that means that there's wisdom here. That means that there's integration here. And that after all the breakdown happens, the integration is on the other side of it here. So we have the Tower, and this is like where everything comes crashing down. I feel like some of you, at the time you're catching this reading, you're like, oh heck yeah, I've already experienced that. It's been a breakdown of things. Could be a breakdown of communication, partnership, etc. Moving places where you've lived. And it's been hard. You're a little battle weary here with this all these circumstances going on around it, but you also have the strength to bring yourself into balance, and the universe is bringing you into that equilibrium. I do have Frequency Friday in my whole list. I think it was episode 40, the Seeds of Equilibrium. That might be a good one for you to watch, where you can go into like forgiveness and resentment and maybe clearing out some of those energies so that you can hit your path forward running. All right. These things are coming in with higher guidance, higher wisdom, higher meaning, higher purpose. Maybe you can't see it all yet or forecast everything exactly like you would like, but also you have the spiritual integrity and authority to really persist through this. I feel the tenacity. I feel the strength there. And that's what you're going to draw on to push through. Okay. Let's look at the best course of action that came up with that Two of Cups. This, I feel like, best course of action is the active energies that we move into. It is finding our community. It's finding that connection. It's finding the unity. And maybe we first find the unity within for some of you, but for others of you, it is about looking outward and finding the unity. And look, we have the Temperance card and the Three of Cups. For some of you, it's a matter of timing and patience, where it's like, hey, you just came out of this huge cycle. You've released all these energies. Your perspective on relationships has completely shifted. Give yourself a chance to meet new people. Let the relationships percolate and culminate slowly. Nothing has to be rushed in this energy. And all along the way, we got a Three of Cups, which was also our card for the roots of the issue. But this Three of Cups, I feel like this is the energy you get into where you can actually like celebrate with other people. So the best course of action is to try something new. Get yourself in a new dynamic, a new community, a meditation circle. Let yourself open up. Let your heart open up to what it would be. Go out and check for things. How can you maybe meet someone new, meet new people? I feel for some of you with this Temperance card, this is Sagittarius energy. You're holding off to do that. And there may be some good reason for that. There may be something in the physical world or a deadline or something going on with your job or something where you are holding, like you're like, okay, that is energy I cannot grab a hold of quite yet. But I do want you to know this is coming. And can you make it something small in the meantime? These readings are meant to help elevate you, empower you, and point you in the direction that your greater being would like to move. And so keep that in mind. There's movement implied here, and it's movement of the heart and the emotional energies while you bridge the subconscious with the conscious. Right, easy peasy, right? No, this is tough stuff. So stay strong. Draw on that inner strength of yours to help you weather the change and the storms, and figure out if you can embrace it. It's kind of like, I think about like little pendulums swinging back and forth like this. And if you stay down in the center down here, right? We saw that with the Seven of Wands, you just get knocked around. That's all the noise and stuff down there. Subconsciously, you're telling me, I don't want to keep getting knocked by these extremes. You want to be at the cornerstone, the pinnacle of the pendulum itself. You want to be able to ride and flow and embrace the changes as they come in and out of your life. We've let the Hawthorn plant inform us, so we're going to also look to the animals for a little guidance from the Divine Animals Oracle. And we would just like a powerful closing oracle message that will help bring all this information together, because it's a lot that we've woven in and out of today. We got number 16, responsibility, and it's the meerkat. And I will tell you what, meerkats are about families. There's a show called Meerkat Manor. They all have little places and little jobs. They have to figure out how to work in harmony. They are little worker bees in a way in the animal kingdom, but responsibility is coming up. And I really feel that we're talking about the kind of soul level responsibility that you signed up for when you came here. I think this is a little bit deeper than just saying, you know, am I responsible for myself? Yes. Am I responsible for those children? Yes. Am I responsible for that other adult over there? No. Right? It's a little bit more than just distinguishing that. This is like the responsibility of your soul to uphold your path forward, to uphold your connection to others. Maybe it's your commitment to community and unity that is coming up for you. There is definitely a desire to meet in that middle point. And just sometimes there's a lot going on, a little busy meerkat manner here. It can be like we're traveling in the outer edges. But remember, I used the analogy of that pendulum. If you can reach to the top of that pendulum, you know, or like I'm thinking of, like, for some of you have seen like the metronome for music that goes back and forth, and you're going to find that 0 point energy here and find your place and your responsibility in it from a soul perspective. And that's what some of you are gaining in this cycle that you're closing out in relationships and moving into a new level of partnership, relationship, and a new cycle. And I do think it's going to be a busy time. I think some of you are trying to retract from that energy of like, oh, I'm just too busy, time moving too fast, I'm too busy. But I think that's the nature of it. And the lessons are in going through that and learning from that and beginning to integrate and embody the strength and the tenacity and maybe even a little fun, excitement, community, and unity from that change, from these big changes that we're going through. So I have two things in closing here today and leaving you with this, I think is really important. The affirmation that I have for you it's simply, I dream big. I dream big. And I think that aligns with your soul level lessons to do with partnerships and what you want in partnerships. Feel free to dream big about these things. Know that what you're looking for, it's not unreasonable, right? And someone may have made you feel like it was, but it's not. I dream big. Very simple words. I dream big. You can say them to yourself right now. I dream big. Okay, and for those of you who journal, I have a journal prompt as well. This is a question that you can reflect on and write about or just kind of mull over in the upcoming weeks to see what comes apparent to you. The question is, what do I need to let go of in my relationships in order to uplevel my partnerships? What do I need to let go of in my relationships in order to uplevel my partnerships? And taking some time to focus on that, along with dreaming big, I dream big, that is the timeless message that I have for you today. I am so grateful that you were here. Please listen on, because the next segment for you is going to be an exciting psychic weather forecast where I look into the upcoming energies of the week and a little bit about astrology, and I will share with you my intuition on the psychic weather. Creators, welcome to the psychic weather forecast. where I look into the energies of the upcoming week. This is something I sat with before I really got into the messages and the tarot messages today, and it's just very interesting how some of the themes bubble up more than once, so be sure to listen for that. We're going to take a look at what's cresting, so what's at the top of the wave, what's calming, where the water is growing calm. I'm going to talk a little bit about the astrology angle here as well, and then also maybe talk a little bit about how you can best handle this psychic weather. Some actions you could take to help yourself during the next week. What's cresting? What energy seems to be building? It's very interesting because at the time I released this video, we've hit the new moon, and we're going to be then having that new moon in Libra on the 21st waxing to full. So the energy is going to start to build. We have the Sun in Scorpio and Neptune retrograde in Pisces on the 22nd. And so this is a very interesting energy. It has a lot to do with that emotional feel and vibration in relationships and partnerships that I was talking about. Mercury is also going to conjunct Mars. So what's going to be cresting is really spirited and lively discussions. With Mercury coming into Mars, there may be some more energy. Some of you may feel like you just have to speak to someone about something. Remember, our focus has been relationships, partnerships, so it could be more public for some of you or more collective, but for others of you it's a spirited and lively discussion between you and someone else. Maybe it's a discussion that's needed to take place for a while. There's going to be a depth of the emotions with that Scorpio energy, the Sun in Scorpio. So you're going to be feeling things probably a bit more strongly over the next week, and this is also going to give you a time to reflect on where you've come, especially since we were talking about Hawthorn and the spring and the fall, where things blossom, where we harvest. You're going to be making some sort of connection there between what was going on for you in March and April and what's going on for you right now in October. And so there's something that's coming together there. What I want you to be sure to watch out for in the collective energies is that, remember, I am predicting this energetic forecast as a creator being who is self-aware and who is speaking to creator beings who are self-aware, but not everybody walking around out there is that way. I do feel an edginess also building for some people who may not be aware of this energy. So some of the spirited and lively discussions could turn a little cold, especially the edginess I'm feeling is more cold. I feel more cold than heated. Okay, at this time, someone could give you the cold shoulder. You could feel like your words are falling on deaf ears. Some people don't want to hear what you have to say. And I think it's really about you being okay on the inside with that regardless. It doesn't mean you shouldn't say it. It doesn't mean you shouldn't speak out. So that's definitely the energy that's cresting, right? It just depends on people's blueprints and where they're at in their evolutionary cycle as to how they'll be handling it. So watch out for that edginess. Okay, I feel a little edginess on edge, but it's more cool. It's more like the cold shoulder kind of energy there. What's calming though, this is really nice as I feel into things. I think some of the confusion and chaos is going to be relaxing for some of you. Like I saw in the reading that I've done, is that some of you are going from that place of indecision to making a decision, and it's just going to feel good to make the decision and to have more clarity on your path forward. I think it's also going to be a lot of fun with the Sun going into Scorpio for us to dive more deeply into some mystery, and it honestly feels more like Nancy Drew, Sherlock Holmes, like looking into things like a detective and having a little fun with it. So it's not necessarily the research, because it's like, I need to feel safe in the world, I need to do this research, is this good for me, is this bad for me? You know, there is that kind of research and we do have to do it. This is more on like something that you're just genuinely interested in, like the ancient artifacts or, some sort of mythos or belief system. It's a really nice time to study that. And because the energies here are a little calmer for you to be able to go deeper into that mystery and maybe have a little more fun with it not be so heavy. Keep in mind, I'm talking to creators, so those that are more in a reactive state, that's going to be triggering their cognitive dissonance. They're not going to be able to make the connection. They may just turn away, ignore, run away, try to get away from you if you are in these energies. With this being more of the calmer energies though, and you really enjoying diving in like this, I don't think it's going to rattle you too much. It's just something to be aware of. And I also just feel a calmness in more of the heated and fiery energies that maybe we've been feeling before. Even though conversations and communications might be spirited and lively, they don't feel to me as heated. Again, everything has a cooler, calmer vibe. It could be the change of the season in the Northern Hemisphere that we're experiencing, but I feel like we might be looking at something different come next week. So be sure to tune in also for next week's psychic weather forecast, because I'm going to be coming with tarot and tea every week, and this is going to be amazing. So the action that I would really like to see each of you take, number one, has to do with setting your intentions for your dreams. And I spoke about this also in the tarot reading, but it's really intentionally before you go to bed, even just taking 1 minute, that's all it takes, 1 minute, to go deeper into something of mystery to you. Maybe you would like to gain clarity through your dreams on something. Maybe you would like to have a resolution with you and a partnership you're in, and you're looking for guidance and clarity on that. You could set that intention just 1 minute before you go to bed, or as you're kind of nodding off. Set an intention for your dreams. I do think there will be more of an emotional tone to your dreams. So rather than waking up and like getting hooked on all the details and symbols, you can certainly journal that and write all that down. But can you identify when you wake up the emotional tone you wake up with? What is the vibration? Is it peace and calm? Is it chaotic feeling? I'm going to be really tuning into those emotional energies and then journaling on that or working with that energy throughout the day. So this is something that can be done as you move about your life, but I think that's a really important action to take. I do feel like some of you are going to need to spend a little more time in nature this week. I know where I live, it's been warmer longer, and so it's been buggier, and that's often an excuse I use not to get outside. But I think some of you really need to spend some time, even if it's just 10 minutes, the least buggy part of the day, getting some natural sunlight. It just feels like it's going to have a rejuvenating effect, especially with that sun in Scorpio. I feel like you're going to have a deeper relationship to taking that kind of solar prana in. So I think that might be an important action that some of you may be wanting to take as well. Of course, always trust your intuition with this. And I really wanted to I have ordered some weather cards from like just flashcards about weather, like stormy, sunny, cool, cloudy, that kind of thing. And this week's weather is going to be cool. Okay. I feel enough calmness that it feels good, but keeping in mind, I'm speaking with creators. I just keep reiterating this. There are reactor people out there, reactor beings who are not aligned with these energies and not able to find that calmness. So you still need to be mindful and have your situational awareness. But it is going to be a cool week, and I hope you find a lot of joy and peace in that. Creators, if today's wave brought you some clarity, please like and share this video with your spiritual circle. Be sure to check out more ways to work with me and connect with me in the description below. Be sure to set that notification bell for all notifications so that you will not miss another tarot and tea. And as I always say, stay tuned, stay true, and keep creating.